I'm Oliver Smith from Race Day Studios. This episode is not necessarily for those hardcore NASCAR fans out there, because you should already know this. But if you want to know more about how NASCAR flags works, this is for you. We will start with the green flag. Nobody refers to it as this, but the starting flag is another name for it. The flag is green. As Rocky from Paw Patrol says, green means go. And that is exactly what it means. It means to start or restart a race. It is simple and easy to remember, and chances are you knew about it before you watched this video. Next is the caution flag. The flag is yellow, as in a caution. Floor is wet sign, or a caution, nuclear hazard symbol. Yellow is just the color of caution. I mean, think about it. Regular everyday drivers use it as a caution. Traffic lights. There's a green light, red light, and yellow light. Yellow light means caution, slow down. Red light coming. To some, it also means drive as fast as possible. But if you do that in NASCAR, chances are the official will pick you up faster on an enclosed racetrack than a police officer would on a big highway. Of course, the red flag is similar. It means the same thing as it does as a traffic light. Green means go, yellow means slow, and red means come to a complete stop. A red flag usually flies when the crash has just happened is too big to get cleaned up while the cars are still moving. And Daytona big ones and barrel rolls tend to be red flag situations. Next, we have the black flag, which is typically just for one driver in the field. It means the driver must come down pit road, mainly for not being able to keep a competitive speed on track after an accident, or for doing something offending on the racetrack. That happens more often than you think. An official will then determine the penalty. There are a massive range of penalties, and we would need a whole episode to explain them all. Maybe a series. Of these next two are only for road courses, which is the type of NASCAR track where there are left and right, complicated turns, curves, and hills. The first flag is called the blue flag. It is blue and is used to warn drivers that there are hard-to-see harmful conditions ahead. The second one is the yellow and red striped flag, which stands for debris on track. They aren't that difficult to memorize, except for the yellow and red striped flag when it comes to colors, because that doesn't make much sense in my opinion. In NASCAR, there are 3 or 4 stages in a race. The first two are 3 stages, count for a certain amount of points, and end with the green and white checkered flag. The remaining stage is simply the end of the race. Then there's the blue with yellow diagonal stripe flag. It might not have the catchiest name in the world, but that makes sense because nobody ever talks about it. It means that the leader is approaching a lapped car. I've literally never heard a commentator say that name before. Next is the red and yellow striped flag. This is usually flown with 2 laps remaining in the stage and means that pit road is closed. You hear the commentators talk about this often. You don't hear that there's actually a flag for it, but there is. It's the yellow striped flag. This next one usually doesn't fly during a race. It signifies the end of a qualifying or practice session. It's the red and black flag put together. It's 2 different flags, red and black, put together. And anyway, and lastly, the most well-known flag, the checkered flag. This means that the race is over. It isn't green and white like the stage end flags, but a simple black and white checkered pattern. We've seen this before, guys. Back when horse racing was still a big thing, the races would end and then the chef would go outside and wave a checkered tablecloth to tell everyone it was time for dinner. No one knows for sure if this is true or not, but we do know that the first recorded instance of a checkered flag being used in an auto race was at the Vanderbilt Cup in 1906. Later that year, at the Glidden Tours, checkered flags were used to mark checkpoints. It is also claimed that Ransom Olds in 1902 or Henry Ford himself in 1904 could have been the first to pass under a checkered flag. Regardless, the checkered flag has become the most prominent flag in not just NASCAR, but all of auto racing and horse racing. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about Race Day Studios.